It's another day of Whocember, baby, and it's time for another big finish audio. This time I've listened to the Hesitation Deviation. This is a Seventh Doctor short trip, and this is the Seventh Doctor and Bernice Summerfield. If you don't know who Bernice is, she's a companion from the Virgin New Adventures books, which I need to go back to collecting. I have a couple of them. I need to go and get more, but it's hard to find them because, they're from the 90s. But anyway, so the Seventh Doctor takes Benny to a world where Christmas is apparently, it's always done right this time of year. It's normally a peaceful planet, but, it's Christmas, let's go, and we get to visit the town. The Seventh Doctor's very jovial in this one, he's very upbeat, very happy. You see he makes a snowman with kids. He goes to get a puzzle from a store that every other day of the year is a laundromat, but for Christmas time it sells puzzles. He's very jovial, very upbeat, and the people are kind of taken aback by like how enthused he is. Even Benny's like, okay, come on, man. But she kind of doesn't mind because almost as soon as they arrive into the town, she's given mulled wine and a pie. So she's like, oh, well, I'm satisfied. So that is the story, and this story called the Hesitation Deviation. Why is it called the Hesitation Deviation? Well, because the monster in this one is in the pauses that you take when you speak. So every time you say, or you pause to kind of think of your next word, the monster's there, and the monster has infected you. Why is that? Well, that is because there was a race dying out, and they wanted revenge against the Doctor. They knew the Doctor would come back to this planet, so they figured, well, one day when he comes back, we'll put this kind of virus into people's little pauses so it'll get them, and that was the cause of it. So everything starts off very happy, joyful, and then it quickly turns. And I have to be honest with you, I didn't really feel the Christmas spirit with this story. It's more like it's set at Christmas, not really a Christmas story. For something that I reviewed earlier in Whocember, like O Tannenbaum, even though it was pretty dark and dour, it still felt, you still got a Christmas feel to it. Even a tiny bit. Even with a dark setting, you still got a bit of a Christmas vibe to it. This one doesn't have that much of a Christmas vibe, really. Which does suck, but I wouldn't classify this, having listened to it now. I listened to this a couple years ago, but I completely forgot about it. And I have to say, I don't think this will be regular Christmas listening for me. I've listened to it now once. I'm now here reviewing it for you, documenting it. So that's pretty much, I think, the last time I listened to the Hesitation Deviation in a while. Probably until I get here in my Doctor Who marathon that I'm doing. So that's probably it for Hesitation Deviation in a while. The setup framework for this story is quite intriguing because it's a short trip, it's a narrated thing, so most of the times it's just a narrated story, but this time they actually have a framework for it that works for the story, where it's Benny telling this story to a therapist robot. And I won't say why that is. There is a narrative reason for it that comes back around, which is very clever. I didn't think of it, but once it happened, I'm like, oh, that's nice. But it's very different for short trips. That's more of a companion chronicle style thing, where it's like the companion telling the story to someone else. Mostly, again, short trips, it's just a narrated story. But they decided to do that format for this one, which isn't a bad thing. But that is the Hesitation Deviation. I give it like a 7 out of 10. It is a clever... I like the monster idea of being in the pauses between words, and every time someone stutters, like, that is the monster. That's the virus. You are infected. I like that. That is a cool monster. I think if we had more time than we did, because this story is only like 35 minutes. So I think if we had more time and James Goss was able to write... Because James Goss is a great writer. So if he was able to flesh this out more and maybe you gave him an actual audio drama to do it in, I feel like we could have had more with this. But I feel like it was time restraints kind of, and the fact that this needs to be a short story kind of constrained this one. So I give it a 7 out of 10. It's not bad, but it's not anything exciting. So that is my review of the Hesitation Deviation. If you've listened to it, what do you think? If you haven't, you can get it. You don't need to get it, but you can get it. It's fine. That is my review for the Hesitation Deviation, and I will see you all next time on Whocember.